Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me today for a video response episode here on the channel. Going to do a VR for Sammy over at SFISportsCards. And I will link his channel below in the title or the description or both to this video, but highly recommend going to check out Sammy and his content. He is a super friendly guy, extremely knowledgeable when it comes to the history of baseball. In particular, great collection. He's, getting into his amazing vintage pickups and showcases over there. But what I like about Sammy is he shares something in common with me, at least I think, in his approach to the hobby. And that is he seems to be able to appreciate a wide variety of eras of baseball cards and even some other sports from what I've seen. And I really enjoy that. So, I've poked fun at myself. If you're a pessimist, you could call it a lack of focus. If you're an optimist, which I tend to be, you could call it a well-rounded collection. And I think that Sammy has a well-rounded collection and an appreciation for a lot of great eras of baseball cards. And as evidenced by that, the prize for his VR includes, cards that go all the way back to, true vintage, like early 60s, up to more modern cards and, rookie cards of the 80s. He even threw a hockey card in there, Jaromir Jagr. So he really gets into a wide range of stuff and is just an awesome guy. So definitely head over and check out Sammy's channel. He recently hit a subscriber milestone. I believe it was 100 subs, and very well deserved. He should have many more than that, and I think he will in short order. And in order to qualify for the giveaway for his achievement, you need to do a video response and you need to pick a decade of cards that is your favorite sort of era of cardboard. Now, as I mentioned, my lack of focus, I could have picked probably any decade in baseball or hockey from the last, 60 years, but went with probably my overall favorite, and that is 1950s baseball. As you can tell by the cards in the background here, those are not the cards for the VR, but just wanted to put up a backdrop for you to look at while I was getting through the intro. And within that decade, this is pretty cool, you need to show a card that you like of a Hall of Fame player, but you also need to show a card of a non-Hall of Famer that you think, should get more love or that you're a fan of. And found this to be pretty interesting. So within the 50s, for my Hall of Famer, I did choose one of the two subjects that's up in the background here. Obviously a different card, but we have Mr. Yogi Berra on the 1959 Topps card. In this instance, pretty nice looking 3-5 here that I picked up a while back. I am working on the 59 Topps complete set. And the way that I'm doing that, I'm getting the Hall of Fame cards like Yogi here in slabbed form. And then the rest of the set is in a binder, just in raw form, and kind of any condition goes for the commons. So that's been a fun project that I've been at for a while, and decided this VR was a good opportunity to show off the Yogi. So obviously one of the greatest catchers of all time. I don't think you'll find anyone who would say that he's not top 5 or top 3 all time at the catcher position. Won 10 World Series as a player. I don't think that's ever going to be touched again. Something like 18 All-Star appearances and 3 MVP awards in the American League at the catcher position. So just an awesome player. I love collecting his cardboard. I showed recently the 53 Topps Berra that's in the background here. And at some point, it's not high on my priority list, but I would love to work on a Yogi Berra playing era run. And so I've got a little bit of a start on that here just because of the 2 sets that I'm working on that he's included in here, with 53 in the background and this 59. So really nice card here of a very notable player. One of the best players of the 1950s for sure. So he seemed like a good choice for the video response for the Hall of Fame player. In my case, I'm actually more interested in the non-Hall of Fame player part of the VR, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what some of you go with for your non-Hall of Famer for Sammy, because I think that was a great way to make the challenge a little bit more interesting and shed some light on some guys who probably deserve more hobby love and don't get it for whatever reason. Obviously, making the Hall of Fame gets you on everybody's radar collecting-wise, and a lot of these guys who are members of the Hall are very good, or fan favorites, really deserve some recognition as well. And the one that I went with is actually a brother of a teammate of Yogi Berra's, back in the 1940s. DiMaggio, who is, of course, the little brother of Joltin' Joe DiMaggio. Dom is actually, I think, the youngest of three brothers, Vince being the other, who all became outfielders and I think specifically center fielders in Major League Baseball. Certainly not disputing that Joe was the star of the family. He's one of the best hitters of all time. I don't think his hit streak will ever be approached in the same way that I don't think Berra's 10 World Series championships will ever be approached. But Dom was a very good player in his own right, who tends to get overshadowed by Joe and his accomplishments. So this is a beautiful 52 Topps Dom DiMaggio that I picked up years and years back. I just love this card. The bright yellow background, of course, 1952 Topps being the iconic release that it is. I don't have as much representation from this set in my collection as I wish I did, but I do love this Dom DiMaggio, and he was no slouch. I mean, obviously, as I said, Joe is the star of the family, but Dom played his entire career with the Boston Red Sox, which lasted for, well over a decade. He was an all-star like 7 times in the American League, which is, not a small feat by any means. And on top of that, I think he got MVP votes in like 6 different seasons. A couple times he led the league in at-bats. A couple times he led the AL in runs scored. I think one season he led in triples as well. He missed 3 years of his career due to military service, as a lot of the guys did who played in the 1940s. So he missed, the 43 through 45 seasons, same as like Ted Williams, who's in the background here, for example, and not chosen by accident for the background. And it's amazing to think what his numbers could have looked like, or maybe what he would have done in those 3 seasons, or it's intriguing to think, I should say. But he was a very, very good player. Finished his career with a .298 batting average and close to 1,700 hits and over 600 RBIs. So he was definitely a great contact hitter. You don't make 7 all-star teams and finish with about a 300 career average, as a fluke. And I wanted to choose him as my non-Hall of Fame card for the 1950s for this response. So, and aside from all that, his nickname, the Little Professor, comes from, I think, the fact that he sports some of the best spectacles on like any 1950s cardboard. So in addition to all the accolades about Dom's career, this is just a very aesthetically pleasing card right here. I've always loved this one. You got the old school, retro Red Sox, red sock taking an at-bat logo, and then those awesome specs and that great smile from Dom DiMaggio. So there is my VR for Sammy, Yogi Berra, and Dom DiMaggio, Hall of Fame and a non-Hall of Famer from my favorite decade of baseball cards. This was a really fun challenge, Sammy, and it was fun to go through, dig through the boxes and decide on what I wanted to go with for this video response. Certainly looking forward to watching everybody else's as well. And congratulations on your sub milestone. And again, to anyone who has not been over to check out SFISportsCards, if you are into baseball, and especially vintage baseball, you are seriously missing out. So please head on over and tell Sammy that Shoebox sent you. Until next time, hope everybody enjoys the hobby, and take care.